All right, everyone, we should be live. Let's make sure that's actually the case over on Rumble, of course. I have muted things, but I've got to, you got to press the start thing and then you got to pause it, basically, in order to keep that from coming on automatically. So we've got all sorts of stuff to talk about today. I'm going to keep it a little bit short. If I look low energy, it's because my insomnia has really kicked in over the last couple of days, sometimes sporadically, especially during hot weather, and we're in a heat wave. My insomnia kicks in and I don't get as much sleep. And so, I'm running on fumes right now. I'm running on jam and bean coffee, mushroom pills from Cultivated Mind, Red Bull, and, various other things. I'm basically running on empty at the moment. So for some reason, what is wrong with this? Just a sec. Okay. I had to go to the top. Tigers are my totem, $5. No comment. Thank you very much. We'll be talking about the Trump assassin, would-be assassin, and how he was able to scale the Matterhorn. And the Secret Service dareth not go up onto that 15-degree slope, but he was basically running around on it. And we've actually got video of that. Shocking video taken by James Copenaver, who was eventually gravely wounded in the shooting. So this is one of the wounded individuals, actually, that shot this particular footage. It appears to show the shooter running around on a slope that supposedly you couldn't actually traverse at all. The Secret Service couldn't get up there to post someone. North Korea wants to restart nuclear talks if Trump wins, according to an ex-diplomat, Ri Il-gyu. I'm probably mispronouncing that, so my apologies. According to him, North Korea would be more amenable to calming down if Trump were reelected. I happen to agree with this. We've seen it before in his first term. Angela Carini drops out of the fight against transgender boxer Emain Khalif. I've got a lot to say about this. We'll be talking about gender and making some sexual comments actually later. And we're going to talk about penises and vaginas and things like that, and coming, ovulation, and all of the good things in life that make life worth living. Boar's Head deli meat recall due to listeria expands to over 7 million pounds of products. By the way, I actually have cheese from Boar's Head in the fridge right now. It's Munster cheese. That hasn't been recalled. I think separate facility. So there's a listeria outbreak. I think there were 33 people hospitalized and 2 have died, actually. Generally, you'll survive listeria, but it can fuck you up. I think it can give you hepatitis, if I remember correctly. Like it can knock out your liver, or is it the kidneys? I can't remember exactly. Listeria is no joke, though, and they've recalled a shit ton of meat and they have to incinerate it all. That's going to cost them. It's going to be a problem. And finally, coffee becoming a luxury, and there's no escaping it. They're trying to use climate change to explain coffee prices rising now. You can fuck yourself. I'm not going to stop drinking coffee. It's just not going to happen. Especially from Jam and Bean. I get it from free. Although, damn, you give me twice as much. I'll drink twice as much of it. Trust me. Your test blend number 2, absolutely phenomenal. Just as good as the Costa Rica. I believe there will be a new blend coming from Jam and Bean soon that will be it'll knock your socks off. Jake Martin. North Korea Trans Olympics sounds like a Neutral Milk Hotel album. Yeah, you're kind of right. Nesquick. Am I the only one who thinks the Chicago conference Indian attack line is genius? Resets the news cycle, hits Kamala on being fake, depresses black turnout. All while Trump has been very on message at rallies and campaign ads. Yeah, I think that Trump did a good job. That's why the legacy media is coming out and hitting him for saying that, and truthfully, that Kamala is effectively, she didn't consider herself black before. Bocephus, did the flooding miss you? Get the arm floaties. Yes, the flooding in Vermont is the northern half of the state. I'm in the southern half. We did get a shit ton of rain here, and there was localized, the inundation. Nothing serious, no road washouts or anything. Sassmaster, do you think all this election craziness is going to break people? I'm going to take a break from Twitter. The gaslighting is going to make me crazy. Yeah, some people are just conking out. I've seen other political content creators, and they're just like, fuck this shit. And I can understand sort of the basic premise. That being said, I will continue to make my content. I mean, I have to. Nick Santini, hey, Mr. Hexenhammer, was Gojira's performance at the Olympic opening redeemable for their choice of performers? Also invented a new genre of heavy metal, clankcore, inspired by you. Cheers. Clankcore, that sounds pretty cool. No, it does not redeem the Olympics in any way, shape, or form. The Sumerian, hello, Styx. What's your take on Trump's Black Journalist Convention in Chicago? He did a good job. Right out of the gate, they were immediately slamming him. And he just pointed out, hey, you're being disrespectful. I actually showed up. Kamala didn't now, did she? I would think that would be more Kamala's forte. She wants to do the id poll thing and, pander to people. By the way, actually, the title of the live stream, if you're over on Rumble, is wrong. I'm not going to be covering the Mr. Beast controversy, at least not in this live stream, but I will be covering the Trans Olympics. Number one news story. Trump rally shooting. Video appears to show Thomas Crooks running across roof, taking position before shooting. Now, I don't really care about this new footage in and of itself. The only thing that I care about is the fact that the Secret Service director came out and told us that, there were several excuses given. I can't remember which one was the first one. I think first they said the sniper that was supposed to be on the roof decided to call out that day, basically, and we couldn't get a replacement. Then they said, well, the slope was too steep. Well, I mean, which one is it? These are kind of mutually exclusive, explanations for the situation. Thomas Crooks appears to have had no problem in scaling the roof and running across it without falling off. I was effectively told by the Secret Service that if he got up on a slope of 15 degrees, that it would be like a tumbleweed in a hurricane. You'd just go fucking flying. You'd fall off and you'd injure yourself and maybe die. Thomas Crooks, the 20-year-old fucking Biden-loving nerd, appears not to have had that problem. He gets up there and he's jogging around on the roof in order to take up a position. By the way, Secret Service on stage apparently not noticing the fact that there was a potential threat. A dude with a rifle up there, yeah, that's how he's going to shoot a pigeon or something like that. That's okay. They let him take the shot. Again, I will reiterate, they allowed him through security. This was an intentional breach. They didn't orchestrate it, but they knew that there was an impending threat, and they allowed it to occur. They probably cleared the roof on purpose. Probably the call-out story is bullshit, and they actually just literally allowed the roof to be free because they're like, okay, that's a pretty good shooting position. The dude, we're hoping that he's a good shot, and we're hoping that he's pretty good with his 2-2-3. So we'll let him fire a couple shots off. We have to act after that, but we're hoping that Trump, gets beamed. Basically, I have a feeling that that's what happened. Nonetheless, the director of the Secret Service, former director, of course, will get a golden parachute and probably a taxpayer-funded stipend every month for the rest of her life, and never face any form of prosecution. You expect the Republicans to do anything about it? Yeah. If it were Democrats, I would say, okay, they're going to throw the book at her. She's toast. With Republicans, yeah, maybe they'll do something. It's not quite sure. Your friendly neighborhood weenie dog. Wah, 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 yippee, yo, yippee, yay, motherfuckers. Yeah. Blacklisted reviews. What happens to a woman psychologically when she has sold her baby for power every chance she's got? When they finally reach the top, seems scary. I don't know 100% what you're asking there. This is a woman psychologically when she has sold her body for power. Okay. Every chance she's got when they reach the top. Yeah, Kamala Harris literally sucked her way to the top. That is true. But it's a poor attack line because you got to understand liberal voters don't give a shit. And people are being hypocrites because there are other people who have done tricks and favors in order to reach their position. Waldow, conservatives don't understand art. For them, art is always from the past, which leads to them not understanding pop culture because art shifted into modern entertainment like movies and games. I would argue that point. I'd say if you look at a lot of the aesthetics of entertainment and everything that's going on right now, is basically minted by people who are conceived of as far right, like with the retro wave movement, things like that. Cottagecore, another good example. Also, art is in the eye of the beholder, right? Liberals say that. So it's not about having to understand it at all. North Korea wants to restart nuclear talks if Trump wins, according to an ex-diplomat. North Korea wants to reopen nuclear talks with the United States if Donald Trump is reelected. By the way, a really good idea as president, and is working to devise a new negotiating strategy, a senior North Korean diplomat who recently defected told Reuters. The escape of Rai Il-gyu, and again, I'm probably mispronouncing that, from Cuba, made headlines globally last month. He was the highest-ranking North Korean diplomat to defect to the South since 2016. In his first interview with international media, Ri said North Korea has set Russia, the U.S., and Japan as its top foreign policy priorities for this year and beyond. While bolstering relationships with Russia, Pyongyang was keen to reopen nuclear negotiations if Trump, who engaged in both fiery brinksmanship and unprecedented diplomacy with North Korea during his previous term, won re-election in November, he said. As opposed to if Kamala Harris wins, in which case you probably end up with a regional war there as well. We've seen the fruits of Biden's foreign policy. We can't really expect Kamala Harris is going to be fundamentally basically different from what Biden has embarked on. It's a lackluster foreign policy. It's a shitty foreign policy. It's a nonsensical foreign policy. Here, I'm going to threaten you and then not follow through with it. This is Obama ship, basically. Whereas Trump is like, I'm not going to threaten you, but you don't want to fuck with me. Hey, be my friend and everything's all good. Yeah, I'll go to your country. I'll cross over into North Korea, the first U.S. president, by the way, to do so since the non-armistice was reached. I'll do that. That's fine. Yeah, we're buddy-buddy. I'll even salute your goddamn generals and shit like that. I'm your friend. But if you fuck with me, I've got a little red button. It's bigger than yours and it actually works. That's the right way to do it in Eastern Bloc politics. You've got to put on a front, be very powerful and upfront. But if somebody's willing not to fuck with you, offer no disrespect and just be their friend. That's basically the way that it works. Biden's administration has done the opposite. He's insulted the Polish. He's insulted the Hungarians. He insulted the Japanese last month. Japan is our key ally within the East Asian region, and he insulted them, and that was not a good idea. Trump, meanwhile, he got shit for feeding the koi fish supposedly the wrong way, even though he did not feed the koi fish the wrong way. Do you remember that? There's that picture of Trump dumping the food in the koi fish pond with the now assassinated former El Presidente of Japan. And it was pointed, it was fact-checked, and of course, that's not actually a breach of etiquette. He got along with Shinzo Abe very well. And there's that one famous picture where Merkel is trying to lecture Trump, and he's like that, and Shinzo Abe's that was great. I fucking love that picture. And Merkel trying to throw her weight around, and Trump and Shinzo Abe are like, what the fuck are you talking about? What the hell are you going to do about it? We can beat the shit out of you. It wouldn't even be close. But with regards to that, it's like foreign policy under Biden has been basically bullshit. You're insulting our allies. You're not bellying up to the bar with our foes or actors that are more on the hostile side, competitors and stuff. And Trump gets shit, for example, over wanting to wage a trade war with China. It was one that worked fundamentally. Did the economy collapse like Krugman predicted? No, the economy was fine at the time, actually, when he started that trade war. Trump knows what he's doing. Kamala does not know what she's doing, even more than Biden doesn't know what he's doing. She's even worse. She's a goddamn psychopath. If you expect Xi Jinping or Vladimir Putin to even bother receiving them in order to talk with her more than maybe once or twice in a whole 4-year presidency, then you're off your ass retarded. It's not going to happen. I don't want to conduct diplomacy with her. They're waiting for Trump to come back. You think she's going to do anything good with North Korea other than vaguely threaten them and then do nothing when they fire more rockets? No, she won't. Oculus Veritatum. Good to see you back in the States. Sticks sent you an X message a while back. Something fun on the way for you. Thank you. Debbie Donovan. Sticks, any thoughts on the SS historical ties to the Knights of Sede Sacrorum, a branch of the Roman cult in history? Haven't heard of it, actually. I'll have to look that up. If you can DM me on Twitter, if you have a Twitter account, DM me some details. I'll look into it. Brominated vegetable oil. Another indicator of the Kamala astroturf. The propaganda targets their own base. She's such an unpopular choice that their machinery has to be turned inward on the base just to try and hold the base. Agreed. Good point. Something that I had neglected to point out. You can look at them. They're trying to solidify the base vote because they can't really do outreach to independents very easily. The next J. Sticks, I've been listening to you since I was halfway to military retirement. Also, as a Christian, I find it quite refreshing that you don't disrespect Christians in your commentary. Thanks, bro. I'm a proud clanker. Clank? Thank you very much. No, I have no problem with Christians. I have a problem with Christians that want to force me to do Christian stuff. I have a problem with the religion in and of itself. Hell, if people followed Jesus more, it'd be a better world. Senor Faces, why the insomnia? Delay in your Sticks Fumo production? I've had insomnia since I was a little kid. Unfortunately, sometimes it flares up, especially during heat waves. So, yeah, I got like 4 hours of sleep last night, maybe. Waldow, yes, since millennials took over, art experiences a crisis because of narcissism and incompetence, but art as an entertainment was successful for decades. Tommy Robinson, women love trans rights until they get knocked out. Yeah, it's interesting how the demographics work. F. Winters Lodig, even though Kamala replaced Biden, Trump should still focus on Biden. Democrat voters should feel disenfranchised and that their party is corrupt. Kamala was fully part of it. It's worse than J6. Yes, he does need to still hit Biden, although he very presciently considered Biden not to be the likely candidate, actually, on that golf course that time. He was fundamentally correct. Last beacon, there's just one thing, Sticks. They are not going to allow Donald Trump to win and allow negotiations. The Never-Trumpers will never allow that sort of thing. Well, if he gets reelected, they can't stop him. As chief diplomat, he can do whatever he wants in that respect. He may not be able to sign off on something in the legal capacity, but he can meet with whoever he wants. Dust Thou Art sent 1. Thank you. It's a buck. Cindy Durelic, Sticks, I caught you live finally. Oh, $200. Thank you very much. This contribution is for all you cover daily. I wonder when media will cover healthcare in crisis. We are short-staffed and overworked. Hospitals here in New Hampshire with patients waiting in the ER hallways for hours. We are burnt the fuck out. Media crickets. I'm exhausted. I feel your pain at the moment due to my insomnia, although probably less exhausted than you if you're working in a medical situation. Yeah. There are several shortages that we're experiencing. Medicine is one of them. Also military. I mean, recruitment is, 10% of what it used to be. After 9/11, the ranks were filled with people swelling up with pride and patriotism. And now you got to double the offer, the down payment to get someone to go shoot people for a living. It's a big problem. Nick Santini, any suggested forest-esque plants I can grow indoors? Just get a couple of Boston ferns. They're also good for air purity, actually. Those are fun. I love ferns. They grow all over the place over here. Rolf sent $1. No comment. Thank you. By the way, let's get to our sponsors really quickly before we get into the one of the more funny stories, which is the Trans Olympics boxing spectacle that we were just witnessing. We have cultivated #mind.com, the land of nootropics and mushroom pills in general. And we got the oyster and reishi extract and stuff like that. Totally organic. That's the only thing keeping me going right now. That and caffeine, of course, because again, I had insomnia. So I will personally vouch for those being effective. Although, for disclaimer, for medical reasons, I cannot actually tell people to take them. It is not FDA approved, but it's also, it's a supplement. So, there's a gray area there in the legalese. Pumpkinfirecrafts.us, where you can get keychains, belt chains, bookmarks, engraved spoons, glassware, and much more. Ouroboros logo, Clank, and all of the other memes from the channel. And it's some good stuff. I like the bookmarks, by the way, because I've got a huge collection of books. I've actually got 2 bookshelves, by the way. Got one in here over to the side. That's mainly the occult section. Then I got one in the bedroom, actually, and there's like 3 more shelves. It's a lot of books. It's probably like 2,000 volumes or something like that, maybe 3,000. I haven't counted. So I thank you for the bookmarks. BiltongUSA.com. Again, use code STICKS there or on any of these sites, I believe, for a discount. You can get free shipping with code STICKS. You can get some Biltong. You should eat Anton's sweet meat. Yeah, lick his meat. Oh my. It's a good shit. Also, Stick, Sex, and Hammer mugs, tumblers, and shirts available there as well. You can visit him in Roanoke, Texas, although I believe he's moving his base of operations. I don't know exactly where. Wicked Needle Embroidery.bigcartel.com, where you can get Sticks, Hex, and Hammer hats. Yes, indeed. With several logos available. There's the central one with the Sticks, Hex, and Hammer below it. And there's the one that's off sides. Most people seem to prefer the latter. I'm not 100% sure. And there's several colors available there as well. Heritage Heirloom Seed Company.com, where you can get a seed survival bucket, which is a good idea in these economic times. Or you can get some Stick, Sex, and Hammer soap. There is a new blend coming soon. I can't wait to try it out. I think when it comes here, I think I have to wait a few days for it to cure. I don't know how that works. I know how soap is made, but I didn't know it actually had to cure at all. I guess maybe it would be like toxic if you don't let it cure. I'm not 100% sure. I have to ask. We've got websterswares.com/sticks-wares, where you can get Stick, Sex, and Hammer flags. Also, Ouroboros engraved knives, which are exceptionally sharp. Be very careful with them. We've also got metal straws, so you can save some sea turtles from the unfortunate incident that I saw on Facebook 10 years ago. This turtle had a straw stuck in its nose, one of the disposable plastic ones, and they had to pull it out with pliers, and it was bleeding everywhere. And it's like, oh shit. I'd eat some turtle soup, but I don't want it to suffer before it dies. I just chop its head off and then boil it in its own shell, I suppose. There's also Trump paraphernalia available there as well. We have jamandbean.com. That is jamnbean.com, where you can get very, very delicious coffee. Blend number 2. Again, you need to market that one. I guarantee that it'll be your best seller. Also, teas are available there also. So definitely take a look at them if you want some delicious coffee. It ain't Folgers. That should be your slogan. It ain't Folgers, or something like that. It's actually good, unlike our competitors. Something along those lines. And finally, brickmuseum.com, based in Bel Air, Ohio. It is a Lego museum. They've got all sorts of collections. If you visit their site, you're going to see all sorts of crazy stuff. Again, I still want the Lego schooner from the 1990s, the pirate ship. I want one of those. I'm just going to have it off to the side. And, if I ever do take a bath, usually I shower, I'll take it in there and float it, do the cannon sounds and stuff like that. Goddamn, Legos are fun. I'm sure that I'd have a good time if I make it to their museum before, I think they close it in late August, if I remember correctly. So some good shit. Chaotic Reach, fan for almost a decade. You rule, dude. Keep it up. Thank you. You rule too, my fellow clanker. Nick Santini sent a buck. Thank you very much. No comment. Felix Fanboy Rico, Daddy Sticks. I had my first lucid dream the other day. Congrats. Any tips on to get into this state more frequently? Also, I'd love to see you and Asmund Gold together. I don't think that'll happen. If you lay on your back with your arms straight at your side and you do body meditation to try to feel, like literally just consciously feel from top to bottom and bottom to top your body, eventually you'll drift off to sleep in this state, and that tends to promote lucid dreaming. Alvamon. We got 2 new kittens today. They hopped over the kid gate, so they're starting to get free Zoomy run out of the house. Goodness. Yeah, kittens are quite something. Mostly filled with insanity more than anything else. Dust thou art. Even if Trump wins, won't it go back to business as usual with the Uniparty when his term ends? Not if he mints a successor that's successful. What hope is there for our modern Roman Empire when each generation is less competent than the last? The kids are all right. Don't worry about it too much. Don't get black-pilled. That's what they want. They're paying tens of millions of dollars to black-pill people just on 4chan right now. There's a reason for that. F. Winters a low dig. Sticks, as a fellow insomniac, it's a curse. On the rare occasion I get 8+ hours of sleep, I feel like a different human. On a normal day, 4 or less day, I feel almost zero motivation or energy, heavy eyes, etc. I'm so used to it at this point, I just muddle through it. But it's still inconvenient sometimes. I do work like a 70-hour week, so it can be a problem. And I got to do outdoor stuff too. I mean, I've got to have the energy to garden, I did some edging yesterday. Yeah, somebody will clip that out probably and put it on a video. Oh, by the way, really quickly here, I have something very, very cool to show everyone. This was art made by a Canadian fan of mine named Anna. She's the wife of the dude who runs the CBS broadcast. You can look them up on Twitter. She painted me a couple of paintings, actually. Now, aren't those fucking great? I think that these are, some of the greatest shit that I've ever seen. I really like the Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon one specifically because a little bit metaphoric. I'm going to have these framed and probably put behind me. I just wanted to show those off because I thought they were cool. I'll do a separate shout out video, but I want to have them framed first, obviously, and get a shadow boxes for them or something like that. Angela Carini drops out of a fight against transgender boxer Iman Khalif. The transgender athlete's participation sparked controversy after it became known that she was not allowed to participate. They use the proper pronouns, of course, in the Women's World Boxing Championships because of high testosterone levels. Let me pontificate momentarily on gender, if I may, which is dichotomous. There are two genders. I don't care if anyone finds that controversial. And if you're trans, and I do know that I have some transgendered people that watch me, I don't give a damn. The way you express yourself is on you. You can do whatever you want if you're not victimizing anyone. I'm going to use the pronouns that I believe you would want me to use based on your physical appearance generally. That being said, I don't judge anyone. You want to dress in drag or something like that, as long as you're not reading sphincterbation books to 10-year-olds or something. I don't care. I don't give a damn. Can't be bothered enough to care. I'm no moralist. I believe people should do generally what they want, unless it victimizes some other person. Let me pontificate, though. Men and women are not the same. Women are going to tend to excel in anything that involves flexibility and agility. For instance, tennis, gymnastics, etc. And by the way, this DEI bullshit will end the second that the first woman says, I was in the lower half of my gymnastics competition, but I can literally bend my legs over my fucking head. By the way, God bless you women sometimes for being able to do that. And these men aren't as flexible as me. Well, I'm a man now. I'm male. They're going to start gobbling down those gold medals, trust me. In anything involving fighting brute strength, like powerlifting, UFC style stuff, boxing, like this, men are going to exceed women generally. Men simply have more musculature than women. Like, for instance, I'm a skinny, nerdy kind of dude. I could still, and I don't even want to use the term, I could still, in a fight, I could beat 90% of women. That's just the way that it is. Because I've got more musculature. The musculature is different. There's a different proportion of muscle, et cetera, more, stamina and stuff like that. But if I got into a gymnastics competition with pretty much any fucking female on the planet other than Lizzo, I would lose because men are less flexible than women. Again, that is one wonderful thing about women. Oh, yes, indeed. This is not a misandrist channel, by the way, under any circumstances. If anything, I've gotten in trouble for loving the ladies a little bit too much sometimes. And then there are sports where it's like it's break even, like the archery or something like that. Well, the ability to hit a target, it doesn't really rely upon whether you've got a penis or a vagina or something like that. Men should not compete in women's sports. Women should not compete in men's sports. If you want to have a league or if it's a competition where gender literally doesn't matter, again, like archery or something, and it's both genders participating, that's fine. Men should not be boxing women. Sounds dangerous. Sounds like, I cracked 2 of her ribs and broke her jaw, and now, one of her eyes is at a 45-degree angle, but, I won the bout, so, it's perfectly justified. No, I do not believe that women should be boxing together. If you're just, like, sparring in a non-competitive fashion, just roughhousing or something, and mud wrestling or something like that, that's perfectly fine. Men and women, you would enjoy mud wrestling with a woman, generally speaking, unless you're phobic about mud. That's fine. But there are differences between the genders. Women's musculature is different. Their bone structure is different. It is more frail than that of a man. Men are 90% of the time going to outcompete women even above their class in anything fight related. They should not be boxing together. The fact that the Olympic Committee allowed this to happen is a goddamn joke. And everyone knows it's a goddamn joke. Even the wokesters know that it's a joke. Oh, you want to see women beaten up by men? Is that really what you want? That's your idea of equality and equity and DEI and all this shit? Well, it's a perfect representative example of what DEI stands for. a bunch of people beating up other people, violence and shit like that. Let men beat on each other. And if women want to beat on each other, as long as they're doing that in a swimming pool or something like that with, no bra on, that's perfectly fine. That's all right. That's all right. They can have a tit contest or something. Well, now, don't know if you like stuff like that, but I have 2 concept artworks of you from an animation I stopped working on 2 years ago. Post them on your Twitter. Thank you. To Morgan there, no, I think I posted the WordPress. I think before I posted the blog spot. That might be the difference. I think. Not actually 100% sure. But yeah, I mean, I completely excoriate all forms of misandry and misogyny as well. I like girls are good. It's smooth and taste good and smell nice and shit like that. I don't understand how any man who's straight, at least, possibly hate women. But men and women should not be in the same sports leagues for most sports. Again, if it's archery or something like that, it's perfectly fine. Tigers in my totem, $5. Thank you. Jake Martin, North Korea Trans Olympics. Oh, wait, I already read all these things. Oh, shit, it jumped to the top. Whoops. I'm reading stuff that was posted half an hour ago. Brandon Fairbank. Wait. God damn it. I lost track of where I was here. BW, what do you think about Project 2025 director resign? I think in spite of the crazy stuff in there, we actually need more of that agenda. I agree with the deregulatory aspect, definitely. I didn't know that the director resigned from the Heritage Foundation, I guess. Brandon Fairbanks, Rasmussen has the race at +5 Trump, and Rich Barris has it at +1.2 Trump. So the race is somewhere between that range, it seems. I'd say probably around +2, maybe 2.5, I would say in general. Trev, really can't believe we share this world with people who are mad that Trump wants to ban gender reassignment surgery for kids. Sickos. Yeah, I want to ban that. I'm a libertarian. Look, it's called ethics. Kids should not be making that kind of long-term decision. They can't get a loan. They can't choose to buy alcohol. They can't choose to have sex, with one another, but not with an adult or anything like that. And there's reasons for these things. Emperor Palpatine. Hey, Sticks, if Kamala chooses Josh Shapiro as running mate, by the way, I think she's choosing this afternoon, will it backfire due to leftoid NIMBYs in the Democratic Party, or will they give in? Most will give in. Some will not. Evangel. Hey, Sticks, just wanted your opinion on the polls. Feels like the astroturfing will make it all very black-pilled until the first debate. Hope I'm wrong. Yeah, wait until Kamala debates Trump and gets crushed. Then it'll be like night and day. The black pilling will wear off a little bit, I think, after that. Hosen Kai, $50, thank you. Speaking of libs doing ebonics, remember Billy Crystal's performance at the Katrina benefit where he tried to be black? Look how cultured he is. The only experience Billy's had with blacks is watching Jolson movies. I don't know anything about it, but it sounds funny. To look it up. Official Ryan Nirvana, Furries for Trump 24. Make furries great again. The Sumerian, what do you think about Trump's proposal to give federal immunity to police officers? I do oppose that. What do you think about Trump's proposal? You asked it twice. I disagree with the proposal and was not aware actually that he had made it. Sometimes I disagree with Donald Trump, to be clear, like with the Syrian airstrike on the airbase there, CIA black sites. That was one of the first things he uttered when he was president. Well, we need to bring back CIA black sites. I'm like, Donald, no, this is not why we voted for you. Thankfully, he did not do so. So, yeah, in the Olympics, the Italian woman there dropped out because it's like, I can't fight this dude. He's a dude. He's got like 4 or 5 extra inches of reach. He's like fucking 6 inches taller. I don't even know that they're even in the same weight class. Looking at the musculature, I would think that it wouldn't even be in the same weight class, but somehow they decided it was a good idea. Yeah, let me get all of my ribs shitter shattered by a violent dude who's got too high testosterone to be in the championship, but somehow is in the Olympics. That makes a whole lot of sense now, doesn't it? It's still a heat wave, so I'm still trying to keep hydrated. Trying and failing generally. Boar's Head has recalled 7 million pounds of meat. That's an awful lot of animals now, isn't it? How many cows would that be? I don't know what the average weight of a cow is. Someone do the math for me and fucking tell me. How many cows is that? It's ham, and so piggies, bologna, All of their meat products, basically, virtually all of them have been recalled. Thankfully, it did not affect the cheese, because the other day I actually bought Boar's Head Munster cheese. Normally, I buy Hell of a Good, which is cheaper too, so it's kind of works. I like it more than Boar's Head. I actually don't really like Boar's Head products. I think that it's overpriced hipster junk for the most part. I prefer Hell of a Good, and local. You go to a butcher, you get something local. You go to a local farmer. You can literally buy fresh eggs out of the Kinderboerderij over in Enschede in the Netherlands. I bought some women, they were good, but one of them I think had been fertilized, and so it was all weird inside. We had to throw that one out. But really, really good eggs. Not exactly uniform in size or in color, but definitely, goddamn, the flavor of farm fresh eggs is definitely superior. But they've recalled over 7 million pounds of product due to listeria outbreak, actually. So there was a contamination, I guess, in one of their factories. This is why unprocessed meats are typically better than processed meats. For example, if I eat a hamburger, I eat it well done. I want it to be a little bit on the charred side, actually. Razorfist probably agrees with me on that one. A steak, though, only the outside of the steak ever saw the light of day. Only the outside ever saw a blade go through it or anything like that. So you can cook it rare, and as long as the outside is seared properly, it's perfectly safe to eat. You can't get sick from it generally. You can sear the sides. So just roll around the pan a couple times and, get all the listeria off. If it's a boar's head steak, I suppose. I don't think that they sell steaks. This is going to impact them bigly, because 7 million pounds of meat is an awful lot of goddamn money. How many dollars does a pound of ham cost these days with Bidenomics? So they just lost like $70 million or so. No biggie. I'm sure that their shareholders are very happy, just like the shareholders at CrowdStrike that are currently suing their own company over the CrowdStrike IT outage. Very interesting times that we live in, by the way. Let's see. Last beacon. It's so hard not to be black-pilled. I know that you're trying to white pill us, but every day seems like a punch in the gut. That's what they want. They want you to think that way. Sigil Stone. Sorry, ladies, but you'll never be as flexible as Marilyn Manson. It is a lie that he broke out his lower ribs to suck his own dick. That was an old rumor from the 90s, and it's not actually true. By the way, apparently I was in contact with somebody that's a big-time fan of Marilyn Manson, and I think actually fucked him, if I remember correctly. And talking about, because I made the video about, Marilyn Manson and the MeToo allegations, and apparently said that Marilyn Manson had seen my video on the subject and thought it was funny. I like Marilyn Manson. Man, anytime you want to come on the show, you can have the mic to yourself for an hour. No problems there. Marilyn Manson's pretty fucking cool. He's smoking weed with Johnny Depp, and it seems like the entire inner circle have had false Me Too accusations against them. So I think they might be connected a little bit. Last beacon. I don't mean to spread negativity and be a general black pill. I really don't. But I have so many people backstab me, as evident of my previous Rumble rant from your last stream. Yeah, backstabbing is common. I know all about it, unfortunately. My condolences. Sigil Stone. Homer Simpson said it best. A woman is more like a beer. Looks good, tastes good. You'll step over your own mother just to get one. I wouldn't do that. But, yeah, women are great. I don't understand men that don't like women. I mean, if you're gay, okay, well then, you don't like women in that sense, but god damn, they're irresistible sometimes. It can get you in a lot of trouble. But it tastes so good. Can't help it. It's an affliction. I'm super straight. What can I say? I've been a little bit of a horn dog in the past. To admit to people, yeah, just saying. Yeah. I try to be good, but yeah, girls are pretty wonderful. Never understand MGTOW for that reason. It's like MRA in the sense of judicial reform. Okay, I can understand. In some states, there is a little bit of misandry with regards to the legal system. But in general, men will be like, oh, women are poison or something. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about, dude? You've never met all the women. Okay, you met one woman who screwed you over. That doesn't mean that every woman's trying to do it. It's just like when some bra burner says all men are pigs or something like that. Okay, I understand you have daddy issues. Your daddy was bad. or your brother molested you or something like that. That doesn't mean that every man's out to get you, you know? Just thou art. Can you tell my wife it's a great idea to move to Costa Rica and live off my check from the VA? It's roughly double the average income a married couple needs to live comfortably in the country. You could do worse, admittedly. I'm not going to try to convince your wife of that, though, because I don't know if, which country you're in, U.S., Canada, or something like that. But I don't think they have a Second Amendment, though, in Costa Rica. That'd be a problem. Sigil Stone. If I recall from my local butcher shop, a cow is about 500 pounds of meat. All right, that's a lot of wasted cows, dude. Last beacon, the left and never Trumpers don't care about ethics at this particular point. By the way, everyone, please send no more super chats. I do have one more story to get to, and there's a heat wave, and I'm tired, and I want to get to all these. I don't want to leave anyone behind here. All that's ever been about is getting Trump and get the Trumpers and then try to heal the divide within politics. Webster's Wares. Good morning, Clankers. Free shipping using code STICKS at websterswares.com. Single run Sticks merch available next week once they get to Sticks himself for a showcase. No black pills, ignore propaganda. Totally agreed. King of Biltong. Good morning from Anton's. Free shipping for your Biltong using code STICKS on biltongusa.com and antonsusa.com. Today is our 5-year anniversary. Give us our 5-year post like on X, Insta, or Facebook. Clank. Nice job. You'll have many more than 5 more years of making biltong at this rate. You'll probably end up with like 10 factories or something. And I'm going to tour them. You better put a penthouse in the big factory. And I want to sit there and look out at the machinery and all the meat being shipped and just sit there in a suit and smoke a cigar maybe. Just joking. Webster's Wares. New Trump assassination merch will be here over the next week. Kamala the Indian, her and Pocahontas must make a mean cookbook. I prefer the Gilligan's Island cookbook. Best series ever made, by the way. Pee Poo Poo. Please tell me that WPK is trolling the West by putting in obvious male candidates to win female medals. Please let this be true. Crossover Maniac. Have you heard of Omega for America? No, I haven't, actually. McPluggin 3.5. How did they MK Ultra Crooks to convince him he'd get away? He wasn't trying to get away. That's why he left the body armor in the car. He was just a fuck up. They allowed him to take the shot. Emperor Soft Turtle. Trump is a demon. He is masterful at breaking someone on their strengths. True. The bonus holes. Tried asking yesterday, but the stream ended. Did you get a chance to check out Richelieu? If so, what did you think? No, I didn't get a chance yet. My apologies. Sigil, you going on about women is making me think of the Cream Crew podcast. It's made by Meat Canyon and Flash Gits. One episode of the Flash Gits guys wasn't there, so they ripped on him. Fucking hilarious. Look up Creamy Crew Don's Stinky Pink Addiction on YouTube. You'll laugh your ass off. Yeah, no, I mean, yeah. I was going to discuss Gilligan's Island. I tend to go off on rants towards this time on the stream, but please send no more super chats. I'm asking you not to give me more money. Probably the only creator that actually has to ask people to do so. Man of Sex. Kamala Black Pillars. Forget the energy monster Trump is with his ability to manipulate media. Yeah, he's going to whirlwind her in the debate and everything like that. They'll claim that she won, like she did better than Biden. Well, yeah, I mean, that's a hard act to follow. Now, the final news story. They're trying to proclaim that because of climate change, coffee prices are going to skyrocket and it'll become a luxury. And there's no escaping. And of course, this is a CNN article. Not surprised. Now, it's this price is rising because of inflation. And so if the currency is inflated, the price of goods tends to rise. That's the only reason why. It's perfectly fine to have the coffee price rise a little bit. It's not going to stop me from drinking it. I drank a couple cups of jam and bean this morning, and I'm going to drink a couple cups in the morning tomorrow. It's just what I do. Energy drinks, coffee, whatever. If it's caffeinated, I like it. But jam and bean, again, sponsoring the show, definitely does it best. It is goddamn delicious. Those test blends. Blend number 1 was like, it was all right. Blend number 2, fucking fantastic. Blend number 3 was pretty good, actually. It's a little bit on the darker side, I thought. And I don't know the difference between the blends. They didn't label anything. They wanted a blind taste test. So I'm going to try to find other people to taste test all 3 of them. But the problem is, like, my parents only drink decaf, so they're not going to drink it. I can't give it to my niece. I mean, she's 9, so I don't think that her mother would be very happy about that when she's literally levitating on the ceiling, twirling in circles because of all the caffeine. I don't think my sister drinks coffee either. Hell, who the hell am I supposed to do a taste test? Hey, clankers in the Vermont area. We'll have to get a coffee get-together, I suppose, or something like that. Getting free coffee, by the way, is definitely one of the perks of my job. There are a lot of perks to working for yourself in the content creation sense. There are some drawbacks, though, too. Self-employment tax. God, the government fucks me in the ass, and they definitely don't lube up when they do that. That's a problem. You have to work like a dog. And then people won't even give you credit because they don't think that you're working hard. They're, you're a YouTuber. It's it's a wonderful lifestyle. You don't have any idea. If you are a YouTuber at the level where you have a small staff group, then you're not working as hard. You're selling your brand, peddling yourself, basically, and you're known for being known. When you have to do it all yourself, it is a lot of work, actually, especially when you're also author, editor, gardening enthusiast, and it's 85 fucking degrees and you can't even get out there to get the crabgrass away from your corn plants. Becomes a problem. I am very, very lucky, but I also work like a dog. Works for me because I'm a workaholic, but, I'm just saying, for what it's worth. Nick Santini, wisteria smells better than listeria. That's about all. Wisteria plants do smell pretty good. And Sparky, greetings, fearless leader. Greetings, Sparky. I'm actually going offline in a couple of minutes. Figured I'd rant for a couple of minutes here, and then I'll go off before 50. Sigrib, the okra is doing very well. Loves the heat. Harvest twice a day. Oh, I harvested so much goddamn okra the other day, but I let the pods get too big, so they got too fibrous. Had fried okra, actually, the other day. And let me tell you, the taste was delicious. Perfect. It was wonderful, but it was too fibrous. You got to pick the pods when they're a little bit smaller than that. Like, a little bit more than thumb size or something like that. Barefoot AZ, coffee is not good for you. I totally disagree. Coffee is very good for you. Coffee contains certain oils, compounds actually, that are protective of the human body, especially the vascular system. They used to say that coffee was bad for you. Hear me out, though. The tests that they did in the 70s and the 80s did not fix for tobacco smoking. And they've admitted this more recently. I think it was around 2011 or something. They countermanded the original studies. They had studied coffee, and they came to the conclusion that it caused strokes and heart attacks, or facilitated them, made them more likely. What happened, though, is that coffee was correlated with tobacco smoking. And so people were taking part in these studies, but they weren't fixing for the fact that, hey, you rail down a pack a day of Marlboros or something like that. Well, smoking is self-evidently not good for you. We know that. The correlation is pretty direct on that one. Just like the correlation between air pollution and health problems. When you're smoking, you're basically imbibing air pollution. But coffee is not the cause. In the new studies, they actually showed that coffee had a reverse impact. It actually reduced the likelihood of heart attack and stroke slightly, especially if you drank a shit ton of it. They said, well, to get the maximized benefits, you have to drink like 4 glasses a day. Oh, my God. Well, I was very happy to hear that because I had drank a couple this morning. Apparently, I need to up my game. I'm going to go to Jam and Bean's headquarters and rob them blind, Give me those bags. Give me that Costa Rica. Nobody else can have it. Ha, ha, ha. I've got a month's supply. I'm just joking. But apparently, if you drink a shit ton of coffee, and I think I know why, it actually reduces the likelihood of heart attack and stroke. Why? It simulates exercise for the vascular system. By making your heart beat faster and driving up your blood pressure, it's effectively simulating hard exercise. That's my theory, personally. And so the vascular system can clean itself out more easily. It's literally like mixing of the blood to remove small clots that might become big clots, et cetera, et cetera. That's just a theory. I don't know if it's true. It's just my thought. Yeah. I am always going to drink coffee and shit. I will never stop drinking caffeine. Mostly I drink coffee now. I mean, since the Jam and Bean sponsorship, I don't need to buy energy drinks. I mean, do you have to actually brew it in the morning? Yeah, and of course, you haven't had your coffee yet, so you're like, oh, press the button with the water, and that's fine. But yeah, I mean, it's way tastier than a Red Bull. Sparky, okra gets woody quick. When in doubt, pick it. Yeah, I'm going to pick it down later. I'm just going to grab it all because it also stays good for a good long time because it is so fibrous. And so, if a week later, it'll still be edible. And Kamala Kushner 24. Oh, my God. Yeah, that'd be a dream team. More like a nightmare team. Anaho Dave, sticks, drinks, shit? No, I don't have the coffee that's pooped out by monkeys. Apparently that's considered gourmet for some reason. Like they feed the monkeys, like, what was it? They feed them coffee beans, right? And then they shit the coffee beans out and they clean them off and then they brew them. And I can't remember. Was that Indonesia or something? I can't fucking remember. No, thank you. I don't want poop coffee. No, I drink Jam and Bean. It's just coffee beans. There's no poop coffee. Twiggy says it's a marsupial. Which one? I thought they fed it to those little monkeys. It's a cat, not a monkey. Whoa. I'm going to look up poop coffee now because I have no choice. Kopi Luwak. The beans from droppings of the Asian palm civet. It looks like a big rodent. What the hell is a civet anyway? Asian palm civet, also called a toddy cat, is a vivarid native to South and Southeast Asia. And my mouse just, I think, conked out. Oh, there it goes. That's fine. Suborder Feliformia. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it literally is a cat. So basically eating cat shit coffee. That sounds like a good idea. Makes a whole lot of sense. By the way, who fucking developed the idea? It's like, okay, there's beans in this poop. Well, I'm really hard up for a cup of coffee right now. Yeah, I'll just wash it off. That's fine. Oh, it tastes good. Yeah, no, thank you. No, thank you. I'm not eating poop coffee. Look, I've tried a lot of weird shit in my life. I've had buffalo testicles. I've eaten ostrich, alligator, and other games and stuff like that. Alligator, by the way, is tasty. So are buffalo testicles. It tastes a little bit like steak. I've had escargot. I got violently sick off of it the second time I tried it, and so I'm never trying it again. Tastes good. No, thank you. I don't want to puke 20 times in a row over the course of 2 hours. I've had all sorts of weird shit in my life, but I'm not drinking the poop coffee. That's not going to happen. Snail meat is actually very tasty. And I was getting the cheap shit, which is probably why I got sick, from like the Albert Heijn when I was in the Netherlands. It's actually really good. I like it. They mix it with butter and garlic mainly. I thought it was good. The taste is fundamentally great. I had it with Brussels sprouts, and those came out really well too. I roasted them. But then I got sick. And so there's no way I could even fathom eating snails again. It's not going to be able to happen, unfortunately. King of Biltong, I do not want inter-sponsorship wars. I will still support Jam and Bean. But I will also support your biltong because it's fucking delicious. God, I got to eat some more of that later. I always eat biltong before I garden whenever I have some on hand. I think you sent me a shipment, by the way. I can't wait. I hope there's carbonaceae in there, by the way. I need more of that. That's the most convenient for like gardening or hiking fuel because it's in stick form and it tastes really good. It's delicious and lasts forever, and it's great. Bystander syndrome. Sticks, are any of your products cursed or enchanted or spiritually modified in any way? Alakazuma's veneer mask, if you know the reference. No, I don't. No. None of the products that I'm talking about on my channel, I don't make them. So no, they're not cursed or anything. Yeah, Anton, I don't think the Costa Rica blend has flavorants in it. Do I stop the bag over here? I don't think there's flavorants in this, actually. Yeah, ingredients, 100% coffee. That's all it is. That's probably why I like it so much. I don't know. They probably do have flavored blends, but if you get the Costa Rica Cafe La Rose, I don't believe it's flavored. And this is, other than the test blend number 2, which is admittedly very, very good, and I hope that they market it. Call it the Sticks blend or something like that, in commemoration of me. The Costa Rica's, this is the way to go. Yeah. Costa Rica blend. Fucking delicious. And it's good and powerful, too. Yeah, again, their slogan should be, "It ain't Folgers." They'd probably get sued for it, but it'd be funny anyway. Yeah. I mean, I can smell it through the bag. You can smell it through the bag. It's pretty potent and nice and dark. It's really great. My favorite coffee ever. No guard, Codesmith. I hate having too much blood in my caffeine system. I know that joke. Sparky, coffee being a diuretic helps in the heart attack area too. Cuts down on edema. And monkey poop coffee brings to mind the Labrador weed Tommy Chong gave to Cheech in Up in Smoke. I love that movie, by the way. Cheech and Chong, Up in Smoke. Yeah, you gotta see that. That's the one where they went to Amsterdam, and I think Cheech had like a weed salad, like there was just weed leaves that he was eating. They got so blasted, they were like all fucked up. That was great. Cheech and Chong is great. The bonus hole. Sticks, could a large enough super chat convince you to change your mind about trying poop coffee on stream? If somebody supplied me with poop coffee and gave me like $100, okay. I'm probably not going to enjoy it. I'm certainly not going to drink it regularly. But if you can import the poop coffee, the Civic Cat poop coffee, I'll try it for $100. Yeah, you'll have to pay me $100. I mean, I'm a good capitalist. It's sort of like people will do painful things for money. I'm willing to do that too. I don't even think that it'd be that like weird. Like it probably doesn't even taste any different from regular coffee. But it's just the principle of it is like, it was pooped out of a cat, basically, I guess. Like a rodent cat or whatever the hell a civet is. Sparky, break it off in Black Rock. Make Ukraine Russia again. Bystander syndrome. Sticks say, we used to sell bitches to Johns. Now we selling Johns to bitches. Johns, bitches, and beyond. Smells like money to me, Maine. Yeah, Reading. I'm Sticks. Welcome to Jackass. Drinks poop coffee. I mean, that's like a 2 out of 10 on the weird scale, admittedly. It's just, I mean, why would you choose to drink cat shit coffee when you can just drink regular coffee? What's the point? I don't understand it. Do they force feed these poor animals the coffee beans, by the way? I mean, they must commercially farm it. Otherwise, it's probably like, $100 a pound or something. Sigil. Sweet Dreams is the one Cheech and Chong go to Amsterdam. Up in Smoke, they got deported to Mexico and drive back in a van made of weed. Oh, okay, yeah. I don't know if I saw the weed van one. I saw the one where they went to Amsterdam, and that scene is, by the way, hilarious. It's especially hilarious because, I lived in the Amsterdam area for an extended period of time. There are a lot of weed shops there and a lot of prostitution, which is more unfortunate than the weed. Do your thing. Don't exploit other people. If it's something that can be bought, it will be sold. But yeah. Amish Zaku has raided the stream over on Rumble. Hello. Yeah. I'm actually just about to go offline, though. So raiding the stream is, yeah. Sparky, Up in Smoke was their first movie, no Amsterdam. Yeah, I could have sworn it was Up in Smoke, actually. It was a good movie. Cheech and Chong did some great weed comedy. It was basically a huge stoner slapstick. And I think, if I remember correctly, I think it was Tommy Chong, actually. Actually, it might have been Cheech Marin. I can't remember which one. One of them got arrested because they were trying to sell bongs in a different state, so they were technically running paraphernalia across state lines, and they got federal charges. I don't think they went to prison, just a big fine and slap on the wrist sort of thing. But one of them got arrested at one point. They had like a trunk full of bongs, And it's like the most stereotypical thing is like, oh, well, okay, at least you're actually, you know, the depiction of your character, the Cheech and Chong characters, I guess it's actually you. You really do like your weed now, don't you? And oh, Dave Chong did that. Yeah, I thought it was Tommy Chong. Funny fucking dude. Cheech and Chong are great. Bystander syndrome. Sticks, do you own cursed objects? I own a plethora of occult objects for various reasons, charged with various energies and used in various ritual settings. I will neither confirm nor deny whether I have anything that's cursed. For obvious reasons. Joe, thanks, Joe. You're the coolest supporter I have, and I love you. Thank you, Joe. Yes, you are the coolest. Sigil Stone, Chong was persecuted in Pennsylvania for running a head shop. Mary Pat Buchanan can burn in hell for that. Yeah. Oh, Barefoot. Yeah, there's also Nice Dreams. That was the other movie that they made. I think they made 3 or 4 of them. I can't remember. I know that I've seen one. I guess it's the one where they went to Amsterdam. I've seen that whole movie. I think I saw part of the other 2, if I remember correctly. I don't think I've seen the whole movies. Kind of want to get them all, though. They definitely underrated in the comedy sense. There's a cult following for Cheech and Chong, among stoners mainly. But you don't even need to be a stoner to appreciate that comedy. Oh, my God. Sparky, Tommy Chong recovered the Labrador weed after his Labrador retriever ate it. One time, years and years ago, this is youthful indiscretion, back when I was barely old enough to drink, when I was in Florida, living with one of my exes, actually, and her mother. They had dogs, and we smoked weed. It was the cheap Mexican brick weed, basically. Well, it was a little bit better than cheap Mexican brick, but not much better. It was not even regs, basically. And we had a bunch of weed stems stored up. And the dog always tried to eat the weed stems. And we're like, you don't want to give the dog drugs, basically. But she got so pushy one day, we're like, fuck it. So we dumped them all out onto a paper towel. And the dog proceeded to eat a shit ton of weed stems along with some shake and obviously some crystal and everything else. And the dog got high. And it was like all of a sudden it got all droopy and it just lays down there and passes out for several hours. The dog got high. And we weren't even trying to get the dog high. It was more like, okay, we give up. She was consistently for hours and hours, as long as there was weed on us anywhere, would come up and try to burrow into the fucking weed. And we're like, okay, well, at least we can get rid of the weed stems instead of the shake and stuff. And yeah, she got, it was like feeding the dog an edible, massively high. Yeah, these days you got the good weed. I can't even smoke it, though. I'm not able to smoke weed. If I take the odd half hit, I can get a little bit of a relaxed buzz, and it's not too much. Unfortunately, I blew out some of my cannabis receptors, actually, years ago during my spice overdose. So I can't really, I can't rail it down. I just get dissociation, and I feel like terrible. I feel like I'm not quite there, like not in a good way either. And then I want to withdraw and be away from everyone because it makes me afraid because I'm like, if it gets stronger, what if I hurt somebody or something? It's a paranoid reaction. So, yeah, I've had a few odd hits of weed recently, just saying, but I don't, no, I don't do it on the reg or anything like that. My mom, meanwhile, is stoned 24/7. Yes, my mom is a stoner. Just saying. We're talking like, how many bowls a day would it be? 10 bowls maybe or something like that. It's an enormous amount of marijuana. I have other substances that I prefer. Mainly these mushroom pills. Bystander syndrome. May my enemies be numerous and psychedelically cringy. Yeah, I feel the same thing. I actually was remarking last night on this. I've been blessed with dumb enemies that keep self-destructing. You look at Destiny or Vouch or some of these other people. It's become a pattern. And I think the devil does it, Some of you get the reference. 2 or 3 of you. The devil made me do it. No. The devil is doing it. Don't worry. I'm just looking at chat right now. I'm just having a good rant. I'm having a good time. I like it when the news topics are over. It gets easier because then I can just have a fucking interpersonal conversation. To people on YouTube, I wish that I could have like that kind of conversation with you. But because I use StreamYard, if I go back into the live chat away from the starred chat, that's where the donations are listed to make it easier for me, it jumps all the way to the top. And so if you got literally almost 1,000 live chats, it becomes almost impossible to get back down to the bottom. And then you get to switch over anyway the next time you get a super chat, so it's pointless. Pounds and pounds of weed. Quit narking, says Fearless Dog. Weed is legal in the state of Vermont and has been rescheduled at the federal level, so there's no problem. Yes, it's totally legal, actually, in Vermont. You can grow weed in Vermont. Yeah, only a certain amount, though. They've got a regulation on that. They've got a dispensary that's, I don't know, like 5 minutes from here, actually. They're pretty chill. Styx Hexenhammer goes to a dispensary. Watch Styx Hexenhammer dissociate from reality and go completely fucking nuts. Styx Hex, here's my new garden. It's there's something different growing in it now. I'm not actually growing weed in my garden, so. JDC, have you ever seen Pee Wee Herman's crack PSA that he had to do after he was masturbating in the theater that time? By the way, Pee Wee Herman was not a fucking pedo. He had a magazine collection, and a couple of them had like the bullshit pictures in them, like the nude boys running around and stuff like that. He was not a pedophile. He was watching perfectly adult porn in a red theater, and he was beaten off, and he got in trouble for that. Then he had to do a crack PSA as part of his plea deal. This is crack. Don't do it. Sparky, Up in Smoke is far and away the best Cheech and Chong movie. Check it out. I may have seen it. It was a long time ago. They used to have them on TV all the time. I was probably too young to be watching stoner movies, but yeah, man. Take it easy, man. Get some of that up in you. Ohio, you can grow 12 plants. Here in Vermont, at least the original law, it was 2 adult plants per adult in a household. So, for instance, here it would be 6. And I think I can't remember how many juvenile plants you could have. It's not entirely clear. 12 weed plants, by the way, if you were to grow them and then sell it on the black market, you'd make quite a bit of money, assuming that you're growing good plants. Look into lemon haze. That's the giggliest weed. White widow is one of the strongest weeds that I've had. And there's another one, I can't remember the name of it, one that I smoked literally just a half hit of recently. And I'm very glad I only took a half a hit. It's like 26% THC or some shit. It's one of the new blends. Can't remember what it's called, but I'm very glad I didn't smoke more of it because I would have been blasted into outer space. It was stronger than White Widow. And that's going some. The last chicken nugget. Would you consider breeding cannabis? I can go for some Clanker Kush. I have thought about the idea of getting a growing permit and attempting to breed marijuana. Yes, I've thought about this. The thing is that I don't need the money. I can't really smoke weed myself and generally don't. I've taken a couple of puffs in the course of the last decade, and that's about all. And I mean, I could. I mean, it's not harmful. So, yeah, I mean, it's like if I grew tobacco and sold that, I'd be like, okay, maybe I give someone lung cancer. With weed, it's more like, okay, I'm making someone buy a Twinkie. Marijuana is not a particular problem. It shouldn't even be scheduled at all. It shouldn't be regulated at all. It's basically just a funny fucking plant. I've thought about it, but at the same time, you've got to realize also I have firearms. Under federal law, this could be a problem. Just saying. But no, I don't really use weed or anything like that. I'm not really interested. I mean, I can't really enjoy it, so there's no point to it. Anaho Dave, weed should be free to cancer patients. Well, it already is. I mean, they just have to get someone to grow the plant and trim it off. I don't know. It just doesn't do me. It doesn't do me. Oh, by the way, did anyone see the Hell of a Boss short they just released? The Antarctica one where they're at McMurdo? Fucking watch that. It's probably the best thing that they've goddamn made so far. It's just a short. It's like 4 minutes long. Talk about fucking funny. Oh, I lost it last night laughing at that. I love Hell of a Boss. I like the more flippant, like comedic side of Hell of a Boss over the more serious topics that they do cover. David Coombs. 1 sock cutter, he cut socks. 2 sock cutters, they cut socks. 3 sock cutters, they cut socks. They all cut socks together. Is that a reference to cocksucking or something? I don't know exactly what that is. I don't know. Yeah, weed just makes me paranoid at this point. Paranoid, nervous, and dissociated. And so I don't really use it. I do not attempt to get high. I'm not interested in this sort of thing. And as a gun owner, again, legally speaking, at the federal level, it could be problematic. So I just avoid it. The best drug is chamomile. That's what I'm talking about. Strong sativas tend to fire up anxieties. I thought it was more the indica that did that. I'm probably getting them mixed up. I used to be big into psychedelic culture. Some of you may remember this. Back when I was Botany 101 and stuff like that, I took LSD, I took mescaline, I tried DMT, in ayahuasca, I brewed that. I did all sorts of stuff, shrooms, amanitas, and psilocybin. Morning Glory, that was my favorite, and other things. And then, of course, I smoked weed, but I was never actually much into weed, actually. I was too busy doing acid and shit like that. The best I ever had was LSD. I do agree with you, Spirit of Sanity. LSD was the best drug that I ever tried, by far. Psilocybin would have been pretty good if I hadn't accidentally gotten azaresins instead of normal psilocybin and taken like 4 doses at the same time. I've talked about that before in a live stream. LSD was pretty great. Let me tell you, that really makes the colors go. When you watch Alice in Wonderland on LSD, it's a little bit of a different experience. Let's put it that way. Then I watched Yellow Submarine, and that time I took 2 tabs, actually. Holy shit. You wouldn't fucking believe it. And then I went on ICQ for like 4 hours, and I was on a chat room, and it was the only time I really got along with people. I told them I was on acid. They didn't believe me because they're like, oh, if you're on acid, you wouldn't be able to type. I'm like, no. Literally, I'm on LSD at the moment. Ran out of water, unfortunately. Sparky, cigarettes are ultra expensive. Why don't people farm their own tobacco? You can grow tobacco. It's actually not hard. I've grown it before. So Nicotiana, those flowers out there are an ornamental flowering tobacco. One thing, though, they drain nitrogen out of the soil like a motherfucker. And they don't like to be, other plants don't like to be near them either. Although you can process them off into pesticides, natural ones, if you want to. So there are benefits. Styx was going to stream on YouTube, but then he got high. Was going to weed his garden too, but then he got high. Now my garden must suffer until it dies. Hey, hey, because I got high, because I got high, because I got high. Womp, 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 womp. Can't edit his books, and I know why, because he got high. Yeah, now everyone's going to make references to my occasional marijuana usage, I suppose. No, but I don't really smoke marijuana. I'm just not interested. It doesn't do anything for me. Bonus holes. How much of a super chat would it take you to get to smoke DMT on stream? I would never do that. Number one, I'd get banned for dangerous acts. And number two, I am absolutely not interested in using any form of hallucinogen ever again. David Coombs, it was a tongue twister. I was trying to mess with my favorable creator. You never responded, by the way, on that stream I mentioned, Yuri. He made his accent and you glossed it over. Do you think Yuri is correct? Yuri Bezmenov? Very possibly. There's definitely an attempt to take over the United States for communism. It's what globalism is all about. It's literally just nothing more than establishing a global communist state anyway. The idea is that if you undermine the major nations and sort of equalize everyone, if the nations are all just equal and equitable, then the people will be more receptive to it. It's as simple as that. It's just a psychological propaganda campaign. Anyway, I've gone almost 20 minutes over, so I'm going to go offline now. I will be live again tomorrow, of course, on Friday. It's too hot right now, and I ran out of water, so I need to refill my cup because I'm sweating like a stuck pig. Look a little bit greasy. There's a reason for that. It's like 90 degrees. And I'll be back tomorrow with the news. And yeah, tune in then, around 11 o'clock a.m. thereabouts. That's about all. Peace out.